Bat music.
Bat is not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Forever, the podcast where we review every hour, every second, every minute of Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And here to solve all of the puzzles within this movie, here to dress up, here to expedite the desired expiration date of a certain bat. It is I, John Parker.
I was really wondering where you were going with that for a second. I was like, oh, let's see.
Me too.
And today we're, once again this week, of course, we're joined by another guest. And this is a guest who, the thing is, should be familiar to everyone listening to the show, but it's actually, the last time the audience would have heard you, Stephanie, was a long time ago. Last minute, way back in Selena Kyle's apartment, when she was trashing the place. That was nearly a whole movie ago.
I was crazy pregnant too.
Yeah, that was
literally. I was saying on the podcast I might have to leave because I think Blake was born a few days later. It was pretty late into the pregnancy.
I know, we were devastated. We wanted the first pregnancy to happen, a birth to occur on the air.
It wouldn't have anyway because it was nothing like I thought it would be. It was I'm gonna, I was going to, start, live streaming as I went through, my contractions, but I was like, nope, this is 36 hours of hell. I'm not gonna fucking put this on. On the internet. This is so much worse than I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah, I can only imagine.
But of course, yeah, that is returning guest Caffine Jedi herself, Stephanie Palacino. And we're all here today to talk about minute 52 of Batman Forever. Minute 52.
It's called the English language. Don't let an American correct you.
Hey, Niall's foreign. He doesn't speak English.
Yeah, I'm Irish, Stephanie. I shouldn't have any mastery of that. But yeah, this minute 52 begins with Edward Nygma pitching to the Lovematic grandpa over there, and ends a minute later with a dual DA who's a bit down in the face, as per usual with this guy, to be quite frank. But yeah, jump on in here with where we left off last week. Edward's he's concocted this one character or one potential costume he's put together of the Puzzler.
When I was younger, not just this movie, but a bunch of movies, let's say, what was that one? Oh my god, I can't remember what this is called. It has Alicia Silverstone, also speaking of.
Clueless?
Clueless. Yeah, okay, so there's all these 90s movies where they show people, where they have these supercomputers that dress them, and I was like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Miss Congeniality had one of these scenes. I think Clarissa Explains It All has one of these scenes where, I'll just stick myself in this computer, and it preloads all these cool costumes for me.
I imagine it must be all inspired by international superstar soccer, where you could make the kit for your Nintendo character and stuff like that.
That's an insane thing to pull up. That's an old game.
Oh, it's the last football-based computer game I've ever played, John.
Hey, football games are fun. I love sports games, but I don't really like sports. But people say that to me. They're like, why are you playing in FIFA? You don't like football. And I'm like, yeah, I play Call of Duty. I don't like shooting people in the face. Yeah. Well, I do love this scene, though, because this is what I want to see, right? Here is a villain that knows he's a villain, admires villains, and wants to be the stereotype of one. And we get to see that creative process.
Yeah. you could say it's a condemnation of the press of Gotham romanticizing these figures, and the fact that they picked up, they had the Joker and the Penguin and look, these larger in life characters. Now you got Two-Face and all these people that someone like a weird loner could aspire to. Like, it's one of those things they always criticize, like sort of flamboyant, sensationalist tabloid TV for like romanticizing serial killers and stuff. They did the whole thing with friggin' Ted Bundy there last year.
Oh yeah,
with
with
the
what's his
Netflix
name? With
show.
sexy ass Zac Efron, they got to play him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I still haven't seen that. Was it
It was
any good?
pretty good. And like I thought Zac Efron's one of these guys that I thought I would I'd love to hate him at first, but I'm like, you won me over, you sexy motherfucker.
Well, I like here as well, like how it's also realistic in that Edward's first few attempts here are not good. Like the costume, bad. Name, worse. The puzzler.
Well, the thing is, though, John, and talking about the names and stuff, would be remiss. And we didn't mention the one very blatant reference to the Batman 1960 show that this movie...
Ooh.
Like, there's a couple of very blatant references to it, but the first pseudonym he comes up with, the Puzzler. This is actually like a little deep cut reference for the fans of the old show, because the Puzzler is a character that features in 2 episodes, like a one story, 2 episodes, because it's always a 2-parter. The Batman 60 show, The Puzzles Are Coming and The Duo Are Slumming was the title. And the thing is, the reason why the Puzzler's in there is because he was replacing the Riddler for that story. Because basically what happened was, after season 1, Frank Gorshin, who of course played the Riddler on the show, it depends on who you go to for your information. But some people said that, yeah, he either was getting a bit too big for his boots because he got an Emmy nomination and he was like, he's demanding more money to play the part and stuff. And other people say, no, he had a stand-up tour and they couldn't get the dates right or whatever, so he couldn't reprise the part. But basically, they had written a 2-parter called A Penny for Your Riddles, and then the second part was called They're Worth a Lot More. And then when Frank Gorshin couldn't/wouldn't come back, basically they went through the script and replaced every time the Riddler said riddle with the word puzzle, and then called him the Puzzler instead.
Oh, that's clever. That is funny.
That seems like, well, this is the days before Control F. It's happening in those situations. Like, all right.
Just replace in Microsoft Word.
Yeah, and then of course, like I think later on in the season, they did get John Astin in to play the Riddler for the second Riddler story in that season. And then by season 3, they resolved everything. Frank Gorshin was back on board and stuff. But the Puzzler as a character was played by a guy called Maurice Evans. Most people would know him as Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes. And as you might recall last week, John, I said when we mentioned Edward G. Robinson briefly, because he was one of the celebrities who popped his head out the window back in the old show. Edward G. Robinson, of course, he originally did Dr. Zaius for like a makeup test for them to pitch Planet of the Apes to like 20th Century Fox. And then he couldn't reprise the role in the actual finished film and stuff. So there's a little connection. And then, of course, Maurice Evans also played the dad in Bewitched, which of course featured the character of Larry Tate, which was one of the aliases used by Jim Carrey in a little movie called The Cable Guy, which was coming up.
Oh my god.
The next damn year and stuff. But the thing is, even with all that, you're like, oh, the Puzzler, that's a thing they made up wholesale for the show. And just a pitiful ripoff of the Riddler as a character. Turns out the Puzzler actually comes from Action Comics 49, which was printed in 1942. He was originally a Superman villain. And then the Riddler didn't come out till 1948. So the Riddler's actually like a kind of rip-off of the Puzzler, basically. So, there you go.
What the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like they refined the character, though, because from looking at the Puzzler here, I had a quick look while you were speaking.
Yeah.
I'll stick with the Riddler.
No, I think they things worked out for the best for the world, I think, with the Riddler and the Puzzler, at least. I think the Puzzler still is a character that appears in DC, but now it's a woman called Valerie Van Haften, and she's made up of living puzzle pieces.
Oh, no, that's stupid. I was on board when it was a woman. I'm like, okay, yeah, differentiate her from the Riddler.
Yeah.
She's puzzle pieces?
She's living puzzle pieces.
Okay, that's an idea that you can have a little high.
Yeah.
Basically.
But yeah, at least that's a thing though, because obviously Edward Nygma's pitching these ideas. Well, I don't know if he's pitching them to the machine, to like the we call it Zoltar or Lovematic Grandpa, whatever you want to call it.
His version is Zoltar that is pre-dressed in this exact way with the question mark. Like, where the fuck did you get this? Like, it seems a little how can I say it? Not predictable. What would you say? What's that word when you know it kind of like foresees what's going to happen? I'm trying
Like foreshadowing kind of thing. Or...
Not even foreshadowing. It's like almost like it was your fate. God, heaven forbid. Like I need to, reload that word of the day thing that I used to have on my phone. No, it's not a premonition, but basically it would be.
Yeah.
Because you have this you just happen to have this machine that just happens to look like this. It just happens to have a question. I mean, I guess he's into riddles, so why not? But
the thing is, like, this thing is actually within the Batman Forever universe. I think, like, originally this was going to be like a bigger deal, this Zoltar machine, because it was the character is supposed to be called the Guesser, and there's several pieces. Like, if you go on like the old movie props website where you can just buy random crap from old movies, there's always loads of like covers for like the Guesser books and stuff from Batman Forever, which you barely see in the movie. Like, you literally see them kind of in the background of this apartment. So I don't think they went to a lot of effort to make the things, but the main problem with it is just like, oh, so he's sitting here trying to come up with original concepts, and then at the end of this it's just like, oh yeah, I'm just going to take the outfit off the machine. Like, this is the guy who's had his brainwaves boosted by the box to just be like, you know what, theft. That's the most ingenious idea I've had yet.
Hey, sometimes the best solution is right in front of you, and you're not thinking about it.
You know, he waste not, want not. He had the costume already there. He didn't even need to freaking make anything. I say that's very environmentally conscious that he's upcycling this outfit, all right?
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like he could come up with anything any good.
Yeah.
The Gamester, a chess piece? All I could think of was Twin Peaks, though, in season 2, when you've got Thingy gets put in the chess piece. What's his face?
Ted Raimi. Yeah.
Ted Raimi.
I always wonder, like, are they, like, hiring a costume designer? Is there someone in Gotham who gets these orders? It's like, okay,
yeah,
I need this in the next 24 hours.
Can you imagine getting that scent, though? The Gamester outfit is like, it's a giant chess piece. It's like, this is a lame outfit, man. Like, I mean, we'll do whatever you want, but Jesus, you might want to reconsider this one, because like how impractical. That's like Lisa Simpson's Florida costume. Like, it's that stupidly big and impractical. It's like, how you imagine he waltzed in the Two-Face's hideout in that thing? He'd just be instantly shot.
That would have been like, okay. It's like, okay, sorry, but this is like every nerd's dream, right? Like, you know, you kind of look at your computer all day, you kind of look at dorky and your hair's going everywhere. I get it, I've been this person, and you're like imagining, like, what if I was a super villain right now? You know, but in real life, you'd make a really costume and you'd show up at some gangsters and they'd whoop your ass and rob you. You'd be like, nope. Boom, boom, boom.
There's a question for you, Stephanie, though. If you were to be a theoretical supervillain, what would your motif be?
Well, let's see. Like, motif, like, as in what is my power and what do I do or what do I look like?
Yeah, you know, like Two-Face is all about like two and duality and, you know, at business and like.
Definitely, like some type of evil super mom. You know, like, because I'm a mom now, so I could, like, throw dirty diapers at you and just, like, stun you. Boom, boom.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Like, yeah, you're going down. My kid has germs. Throw that on you, too. And then I'd release Blake, who's, like, obviously a toddler and has, like, super speed, and she'd totally just, like, destroy you.
Oh, they're like ninjas.
Yeah. So, I don't know, some kind of, like, evil mom villain, like, you know.
Oh, and what I'd love about that
Milk of
is...
death or something?
People wouldn't want to be like in opposition to you because it's like, oh,
yeah,
well,
exactly.
She's a mother. She's wonderful.
Like, I'd be like, mom guilt. That would be a power of mine.
Yeah, that's up there with Catwoman's tactics in the last movie of like, how could you? I'm a woman. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Boot in the face.
Yeah, bang.
I think we'll one put that to the listeners' cave as well. Anyone out there who has any ideas for what they would be. Of their own personal motif, if they were in fact like a supervillain. It's like because I'm a guy who likes wearing a hat. I think I would much like Edward Nygma. I'd just rip off Odd Job from like Goldfinger. I'd just be like, yeah, just flinging razor sharp hats around. That seems like something I could do.
I think you should adopt the baseball cap though. I want you to just be called the Cap.
And
That's like Captain.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Cap.
Yeah. What would you go for, John? What do you reckon your motif would be?
Oh my god, where do I even begin? Surely I need to be some kind of weird nerd, like gamer, right? But then that has weird incel kind of implications.
I think I remember way back when, though, you pitched me like a wrestling character you were thinking of, which was like an explorer or something, and he had like a pit helmet.
Oh yeah.
And he had like I remember you saying like once you were depleted, you'd be in the corner of the ring, and then you'd have like a manservant giving you tea and stuff. And I remember being like, "That's a pretty good idea."
Because I thought I should be like a villain, obviously, yeah, like an evil British colonial officer.
Yeah,
in the full pith helmet and everything, yeah, and I'd be crap, but I'd be revived by the magical tea given to me by my manservant.
Yeah.
But then I did also think, that also kind of seems to be a little bit. It could be a bit racist. I don't know. Something I did like was in this. Right, Captain Kill, his next character he comes up with. Now, first of all, I've got two things to say. First of all, this looks like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando. That's all I could think of. That scene near the end where he's suiting up.
So talk about your foreshadowing right here. We're getting a little Arnie nod. Friggin' a full movie ahead.
Well, even more foreshadowing. It also looks a bit like the character that Jim Carrey plays in Kick-Ass 2.
Oh, yeah.
It does. That was my favorite part of Kick-Ass 2, which I thought was kind of a terrible movie. Like, really bad sequel to a pretty good movie. Like,
yeah, I
like
love the
Kick-Ass.
first one. That second one was, oh my god, no.
Yeah, that second one had a lot of, like, I felt like everything that made the first one great, they were like, let's just do that, but except the guy who played Kick-Ass was way too old to be in high school. I was like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
You're
he
like
seems to
looking
have
like you're
aged
pushing
20
30.
years.
And I didn't get any of it. Like, I was like, why is your girlfriend hating you? She knows you're a superhero, right? Like, she knows that Hit Girl is Hit Girl. Like, you should know. You guys had a whole thing about it, like, before. Also, why does Hit Girl care about these mean girls? And why did they suddenly start hating her? They liked her and they built her up, and then I get that,
And then the whole gag where she makes them crap themselves.
Yeah, my sick stick. I'm like, okay, wow.
You could go back and investigate these reasons, but then I'd have to watch Kick-Ass 2 again, and that's not something I ever want to do.
The only thing, there was, the thing is, the movie had some decent parts within it. Like, I did like Jim Carrey's character, and I like that Russian character, the Mother Russia character.
She was the best thing to me.
She was hilarious. I was like, this is a cool character. I like this guy, this chick, and I like, Jim Carrey's character. Those were, the two best parts. And then everything else was kind of, really dumb.
Yeah. Although the one thing I'll defend it on is Jim Carrey, before it came out, if you remember.
Oh, yeah, I
he
remember
turned on the movie and said, it's too violent, don't go and see it. And it's like, come on, Jim, what are you doing?
That's a man who's now in a movie that's promoting animal cruelty to hedgehogs. Like, what a hypocrite Jim Carrey actually is.
Oh, man. I did, like I said, I really did enjoy him in Sonic, a lot. I was, really surprised. I want to go watch it by myself because this is, my only me time, So I'm like, all right, I'm going to go watch this movie. And I was like, yeah, you know what, it's cute. It has things that I like. And I just was like, Jim Carrey was the best part. I was like, he's reminding me of why I used to like Jim Carrey as, a kid.
Are we seeing the resurrection of Jim Carrey? The Jim Carrey Naissance? That doesn't work.
Jim
It
Naissance.
kind of does. I think you were close.
Yeah, that was it. Jim Naissance. There you go. It's almost there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got it.
Although, in saying all the Arnie comparisons there, though, John, it also, just the hardcore military guy, always reminds me of Major Chip Hazard from Toy Soldiers, which was, Toy Soldiers, Small Soldiers.
Small Soldiers.
Yeah, of course, that was voiced by Tommy Lee Jones. I was right around the corner.
Everything's connected. Yeah. Also, Small Soldiers, right? I only first saw it about 3-4 years ago.
Really?
It was on TV. Yeah, it was just on TV on a Sunday when I was packing some stuff away. And it caught my attention so much. I stopped what I was doing and watched the whole movie. It was awesome.
I don't remember thinking it was okay when I was a kid.
I think as a kid, I remember it being a little strange. Even as a kid, I was like, this is a weird-ass movie.
That's why it's good.
I remember the Barbie scene was really freaky with the doll. They do to the dolls. I'm like, oh, these things are
Oh yeah, that was it. That was the Sarah Michelle Gellar voiced like Barbie nightmare sequence and stuff. That was pretty crazy.
Like, oh no, these are too scary for me. This is like why I didn't like dolls. As a kid, I didn't like dolls. Like something that was like, always like infamous about me. Like I would hate them. People would give me them as toys, and I'm like, I don't want these things. I was a stuffed animal type person. Like I could handle that, but like dolls, just the uncanny valley was always like there. Like no, I don't like them looking at me. I don't like looking at them through the reflection of the mirror.
The smug aura.
It's a weird one now though. Like years later, when you're a bit more sort of versed in things, because it's like, oh yeah, Small Soldiers, that's Joe Dante. So you're sitting there going like, oh, there's Robert Picardo, and there's Dick Miller, and there's like, oh, this main kid, he reminds me of a certain character from Kingston Falls in another movie that had little small things going crazy and tearing up a small town and stuff. It's like, that's very similar to Gremlins, Joe Dante, but oh well, that's his business really.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that actually. Yeah,
that was a lot.
Small Soldiers Minute from Neil Brown. Come on.
Yeah, but we got here then the next little combination that Edward puts together is Question Mark Man, which may be the worst outfit of the bunch because it's just like sandwich board, and then for some reason he adds headband and like
Were we talking before about the fact that this reminded us of Die Hard 3?
Yeah.
Character has to go into like was it Compton?
Yeah. Harlem, I think it is. Yeah.
Was it Harlem or within New York or LA? I can't remember. The point is, he was racial expletive on the sign, and then Samuel L. Jackson has to save him from getting his.
I mean, like Edward Nygma's idea here is to wear a sign saying "I hate Batman" and just stand in the center of Gotham City, waiting to get the crap kicked out of him, basically.
So this is an awful name, right? But he's getting somewhere now. He's getting close.
He's getting to like. If you just turn your head slightly to the left there, Edward, you'll see your future costume is just sitting there, staring you right in the face. The thing is about the guesser, though, because, as mentioned earlier, they had like, oh, Maurice Evans played the Puzzler and whatnot in the show, and Frank Gorshin played the Riddler, and John Astin also played the Riddler. I kind of wish they had done, like, because you remember way back in, like, Nygma's office in Wayne Enterprises, the little bobblehead guesser he had looked a lot like Frank Gorshin. I was like, this one, the Zoltar guy, should look like John Astin then, just to keep the nod going, really. But then have another version that looks like it's a guesser ripoff, but it looks like Maurice Evans and stuff. But
that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but too much. Joel Schumacher's like, hey, we gave you the friggin' Puzzler nod already. Okay, I'm not gonna stretch myself here. All
Come
right?
on, nerds.
Well, you talk about this machine, but I may have brought this up already. I don't know, because it puzzles me, so to speak.
I get it.
Why does this thing have a no and a question mark?
I thought the same thing.
Yeah, isn't the whole point of it like it's like a magic 8-ball? You need a yes bulb as well.
Yeah. I don't know what function it. One, I'm baffled is it on all the time? Like when Edward Nygma is just sitting around his apartment, this thing's constantly going.
It's like Alexa.
It'll drive you crazy.
It's like Alexa. That's right.
And then you ask a question, and it says, or maybe it poses you a question, and you're supposed, and that's the prize. Like it spits out a question, and then you say something, and it points to either no or the green bulb is like, yes, you've answered the riddle or whatever. But then I guess that would require like very sophisticated technology from back in the day, the like voice recognition friggin'.
Don't you see this wonderful Photoshop he's using? Come on, it has new costume, upper body, lower body, accessories, next and select. That is
state of the art.
Yeah, exactly. We can only dream of such things nowadays.
But like, actually, what was your opinion of Jim Carrey? Like, because you're the same age as us, Stephanie. So like. Were you wrapped up in the hype of Carrey mania back in the day?
Absolutely. The Mask, Liar Liar. Okay, Jim Carrey, he is crazy. He seems like a crazy person, but he is also very iconic. And he's done some stuff that, like, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, with the exception of the ending, which now just does not age well.
Yeah.
It will always have a place in my heart. It was in Miami. They shot the whole thing in Miami. And we got from Miami, so to me, I was like, yay, Miami! You know, he's like a clown come to life, you know? And I don't mean that in an insulting way. Though I know that what's his name, Tommy Lee Jones does.
Yeah, sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not a good thing. If you point him in the right direction, if you edit him, you can get good results, I think.
I think he probably works well with a very hard director. And not a hard director, like he needs someone to rein him in.
Yeah. Don't give him too much freedom.
Yeah. Yeah, his whole Man on the Moon thing, like, everybody watched that documentary, and he's, like, a total... I'm sorry, I would hate to work with him. The Nostalgia Critic, I know, kind of a controversial person, but I do still watch him sometimes. He did a thing about, what's it called? People who go method.
Oh, yeah.
And I really like that breakdown of, like, do we still need people to go method? And, like, okay, so look, I am a broke-ass filmmaker, so I only work with other broke-ass actors because I can't afford anybody expensive or, you know, anybody famous. And, like, I have known people who tried to go method, and I literally hated every fiber of them. I was like, you are the worst human being on the planet. You are literally making my life hell, and I think our friendship is over after this, and I kid you not. I lost probably one of my best friends because they wanted to act like their character, and their character was supposed to be a total bitch. You guys will watch it soon. Drowning in Sunshine is coming out in the next couple weeks. I know I've been saying that for a while, but it's been a weird couple weeks. You know, obviously things have gone a little awry.
Just a bit.
So somebody's working subtitles now, and that should be it. But there's a character that you'll see, one of the main characters, and let's just say that there was a lot of this girl was really like that in real life.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
And everybody always told me that. They're like, what the hell happened? She would treat the crew mean. Never treat your crew mean, alright?
No, there's no excuse. There really isn't.
Jim Carrey is known for being, he was going to play Andy Kaufman, and he was infamously a big pain in the butt. Well, I just know that anyone who ever tells me that they want to go method can literally suck my butthole. Like, I know that sounds mean, and, like, I'll say it, like, 100 times. I'm like, I can't handle this. This is not for me. I am not a person, like act. You know, do some acting.
Yeah, it's not really acting, is it? It's just an excuse to be a jerk. Really.
Yeah, it's an excuse to be a total piece of crap, and I can't handle anyone being a total piece of crap. Don't be mean to people, especially, you know, when you're trying to make yourself... Like, I understand people needing to get into character. Like, I get that. You know, you want to be in a certain mood. You want to, you know, maybe it's the accent or the walk. You're trying to do something specific that, you know, helps you, like, get into that character. That's fine. But don't Jared Leto it up, okay?
I think he seems like he was the guy who broke it. Like, it was him doing the Joker where everyone was like, wait a minute. No. this
movie sucks. You're not a good enough actor for this.
Jim Carrey being weird. He's weird right now as well. The way he types. This is the strangest thing ever committed to film. What is he doing? What is he doing? Why?
I think the delivery of the, you know, oh, thank you so much, and stuff.
Thank you. It's like he's making fun of the machine.
Well, at the same time, though, he is just going to rip off that machine. Like, this is genuinely like, oh, thank you for being you, and just like giving me the. And again, too, it's like, why when he's locked up in Arkham at the end, the people who run the Gesser company should just be landing and going, by the way, lawsuit. You've been prancing around dressed up as our character. Now you think all our stocks are down. Nobody wants to be associated with the friggin' Gesser anymore because that Riddler guy who terrorized Gotham City was dressed exactly the same as him.
That's the sequel. It's a law movie. It's all in court.
Yeah. Like at the end, like Edward Nygma, like all that stuff, like, you know, oh, I'm Batman, pretending he's crazy. That's just to get out of the suit. He's just like, if they knew I still had all my faculties, they'd be like, oh, that's the Nygma Tech guy. He's worth like $50 billion at the minute. Let's take him to town. But
we're onto this. We know what's going on.
But yeah, so he does start furiously typing. I guess basically just to make the suit that he's already seen. But
yeah, because like, what is he doing? Coding this thing as he goes? Like, why are you typing that much? Just like click to the mouse.
That's an excellent point. Hang on. Yeah, they do that in movies, don't they? Lots of typing. I think because a mouse doesn't look very dynamic.
I think anything to do with computer mice just always reminds me of the time. Like, I was furious when it happened. But since I've been like, well played, complete stranger, where I was in a university library one time. And like, I was there pretty much completely by myself. And I was just like, playing around with, the computer, and they obviously have like, the mouse plugged in. And then I went to the bathroom, came back, and some asshole come along and just taken the ball out of the mouse and cleared off with it. So I was just sitting like, I'm going to have to go steal another one. But yes, so some random guy was just like, well, it'll be pretty funny. It's just to target this one person and minorly inconvenience him for like about 10 minutes while he goes around trying to steal another mouse off a different computer.
Yeah, for the kids back in the day, if you guys don't know, that's how computer mice used to work. You have to have I remember when they made the laser mice, and I was like, wow, it doesn't have the ball. I remember you could take the ball out and clean it sometimes.
Oh, God, yeah, all the time. Because I'm a nerd, so I was using the computer every minute of every day. So it was like, once a week job, clean the mouse.
Yeah. You didn't have an unclean mouse in Liverpool Hope University by any chance, John, and just decide to steal a clean one of a perfectly innocent person who was sitting nearby.
Maybe.
Oh, then I tracked you down, you son of a bitch.
God damn it. I thought I got away with it.
But yeah, like after that, then we cut to the outside of, well, you can kind of tell by the fact that it's a giant face. But it was going to be revealed to be Two-Face's lair. And it's one of these weird shots in that, when you're watching it as a movie, this just gleams right past you. But when you're sitting examining it, that's very obviously the shot of a building, and then they've airbrushed on like the graffiti outside, because it just doesn't look quite right. It's just a little bit like, yeah, that's not on there, really, is it? You just added that to the film later on.
Yeah. Kind of. That's a bit awkward, though. That's weird.
Yeah.
I do like this scenery, though, because it's kind of going back to the first two movies with that rundown, graffiti-covered, scary, fascist kind of imagery.
This would be something if this was the same face that Max Schreck was abducted near. Like, they remember had that one that was just like, oh yeah, it's a big random face. Like, random street level face. It's all right if it's way up at the top of a building, but way down when it's just like, the friggin', they call it Mahatma kettle from The Simpsons. Like, the big head they buy. Mr. Burns buys The Simpsons. It's like, yeah, just have that.
Is that? That is a big difference, right? If that face is really high up, oh cool, it's a statue thing. If it's at like ground level, that's creepy and weird. Wow.
Yeah, it's just like, we're watching you. The city is watching you.
It kind of has that, what's it called, Blade Runner feel.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Totally.
I'd definitely say that with this movie, because like so much of it is influenced by like Tokyo. Like the Gotham City is influenced by Tokyo, and of course Blade Runner is entirely just influenced by Tokyo as well. So it's like the handy dandy little intercept there.
Yeah, it's funny because, like, when I lived in Tokyo, like, how, like, it wasn't like that at all.
Of course, that's right,
yeah. Vegas. Like, I was like, this is like Vegas.
Yeah. I feel like a tit now, just like talking about Tokyo and then forgetting, like, oh, yeah, so Stephanie lived there for years. I've never set foot in there in my life.
Oh, it's a great place to visit. Maybe not now.
Yeah.
Well, the last thing in the minute, we cut again, very quick, to Two-Face's lair. We won't say too much about it because we're going to see it a lot in the next minute. But he does have a giant picture on the wall of like a Two-Face kind of character. And I like how he's standing perfectly in line with it.
Is this like, the deal with Mickey Mouse where he decorates with his own head everywhere? So, like, Two-Face is decorating with his own face everywhere?
So I took this to be like that is literally the inside of the giant face's outside. So it's like, that's not so much a picture as it is, that's just the wall itself is that shape.
I'm looking at the face. Is it doing the same expression? It could be. It very well could be.
It does look like it's the inside of something.
But of course, yeah, as everyone, I'm kind of noted out for this minute. Do you have anything else about minute 52?
I'm noted out, and I'm going to have to wrap up real soon, actually. My tea's nearly done.
But Stephanie, you might not know that this season we actually pose a riddle to the guests on Monday to see if they can get it, in the spirit of the Riddler and yada yada yada. And we have one here for you to see if you can get this, and then if you can't, we'll reveal the answer on Friday. So this is the riddle is: riddle me this. I have a home and a big space. I have keys, but I have no locks. I have lots of letters, but I have no mailbox. What am I?
Holy crap, what the hell?
Some kind of archipelago. I don't know.
That's a toughie.
I think we might start a new thing, actually. Like, even if the guest does get it, then we'll leave it until Friday anyway, just so people can. Because I've seen people on the group come in going, "I was gonna guess, but they said the answer already." so yeah, we'll reveal that one on Friday then. If no one has any,
I assume it's it sounds weird to say archipelago, but I'm like, I know because I go to the Florida Keys all the time, so that's what I was thinking it.
Yeah, I think maybe wait till Friday or we'll mull it over all week. I can't get that.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
So yeah, we'll head off into the dark night. Stephanie, where can people find you and your work online?
All right, so you can probably find me the easiest on either YouTube as Caffine Jedi, which is CAFFINEJEDI, or on Facebook. Apparently, I'm also on Twitter, but I never actually check it. And you'll be seeing my new series, Drowning in Sunshine. It'll be releasing in the next few weeks. It'll be on Amazon Prime or Video On Demand or iTunes or, message me if you don't want to pay for it. And you're like, just give me a freaking link. Just watch it. I don't care. I'm not, I'll give it away for free at some point anyway, so don't even worry about it.
No, pay for it, everyone. Pay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you should support your local artists, aka me. But, I also am people won't even watch free videos of mine, so,
Oh, no. Go and check it out, everybody. Definitely check it out. And something else you should pay for is our Patreon content. So go and check that out, because you'll get more wonderful episodes. And come and speak to us on Facebook. We're on the Bat Minute Listeners Cave. And we're on Twitter at BatMinute. Oh, buy a t-shirt too. Go to TeePublic, buy a t-shirt. Or a mug. Or what else? A cushion. Now, what else is there? There's a notebook.
Bowling ball? Was there a bowling ball on there?
I wish there was a bowling ball.
Oh, the shipping for that would be a nightmare, too.
Oh.
Can you buy bowling balls online? You must be able to buy bowling balls online.
I'm assuming so. I mean, I got a computer delivered, right? This thing is like a tank. It's the size of a house. This must weigh more than a bowling ball. It's made of glass.
And only the 5 richest kings in Europe will own one. You just buy yourself a giant Frinkiac computer. It's like, yes, that's what I've been dreaming about my whole damn life.
I have been. So I'm going to go and dream further, and we'll rejoin you again on Wednesday for more Bat Minute Forever.
Next time, Menage what? It's dinner for 2 for 1 in Gotham slums, as a partially pink polygamist chooses to dine on either a dish that's divine or the charred heart of a swine. But while the monarch of mean mulls over his haute cuisine, which mystery man in green is about to make himself seen? Find out Wednesday. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da.